we go. So this is the 5th episode of the Psychic Wave podcast. We've got Michael, bass player from Iress. Great band. I first saw them opening up for Sunflower Bean and the Paranoids at the Constellation Room. Yeah, and dude, first of all, that sound that night was just really good.
Yes, it was, dude. Oh, we were so happy.
That was
so happy.
It was okay. So like lots of times with the bands that I like, and if they're not like a huge band, like I'm talking like MGMT is one of my favorite bands. So like their whole production like is flawless every time they go up on stage. Now they've got so much money pouring into it, but when I go to see shows, I'm usually expecting like it's more of like the vibe of the show is gonna be good. But we walked in and we were like, dude, all the sounds, like the guitars, vocals, the bass, drums, everything was like popping.
Oh, yeah.
And it was weird, man. That doesn't happen like very often.
Sure doesn't.
I've got this on. Hard foul.
Yeah, man. That was one of our definitely one of our favorite shows that we played in the past couple of years.
You said that was kind of like a last minute thing too, right?
That was a very last minute. Shots.
Oh shit! Hold on.
That's right.
My bad.
Oh, the AC.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, viewer discretion.
Yeah.
Sound is gonna be a little fucked up at the beginning.
It's all good. So, shout out to Justin Saunders from Pomona Revival and DBA in Pomona. He hooked us up with that show pretty much. Like he either works or knows the people who work and do the booking there at the observatory and the Constellation Room and such. And just was always asking people, hey, can Iress open up on this night? Can Iress open up on this night? And that night they said yes. And after the Glass House, that was probably our biggest show. Because we played the Glass House in March of, I want to say 2015, maybe 16. And that was dope because that was packed. Like, and we went on like at 7:30. And the place was already almost capacity.
Man, that's
when
so fun.
Chan was playing. Chan was touring and then them and Strawberry Girls, I think. So that was a crazy night because we were kind of a little out of place. We were the only band that had a vocalist, you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Chan has like one or two songs that have like vocals on it, but
they're straight up instrumental, just shredding. Like, they're crazy. Like, those guys are nuts.
That's like, I don't know, when I think of bands that can do that, I always think of like, I mean, they shred too, but like Steely Dan didn't really go hard, but dudes that can just play like the wackiest stuff that sounds beautiful at the same time.
Sick. I like Steely Dan.
Those dudes are crazy. But the Glass House, that was the first show I ever went to, and it was Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, okay.
I was 14, and
that must have been a cool show.
I mean, it was totally fun.
I feel like they put on a good show. They got like a crazy sound. Yeah,
they put on a good show, and like that was me in junior high, so that was like, it's just, I love people that would shred, and so it just blew my mind. But I didn't go back until recently. We saw Cherry Glazer there.
Oh, okay.
And that fucking venue is awesome.
Glass House is pretty cool, man.
It's
they've done some like renovation, like some updates and like remodeling to it here and there. And I don't go there a lot, but when I do, it's always a good time.
I like that they have that little spot too. Like, you can kind of post up against the wall unless it's like packed. You can post up on the wall and like, I feel like an old man sometimes because I don't want to like mosh all the time. I have to be like in the mood, and so I'll like sit back and I'll like watch a show and get like perfect sound. And you don't get that a lot. Like,
no. And they got like a little upstairs balcony thing with like the merch up there. It's like cool. You can just chill. Yeah, it's pretty chill, man. But and then so that led to our connection with Justin led to that, and dude, like there's talks of like a show we can open for that's like huge. Yeah. And we're like, it's very little chance probably.
But it's just even
the word's already out there, and we're just waiting on the response, and I can't say anything now, but it's tight.
But it's
So
that's
be on
awesome,
the lookout
man.
for that.
Even to just have like the opportunity, just to have the fact that you can like say that like there's something really cool that I'm not allowed to disclose.
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I still haven't played a fucking single show. Ever.
I'm waiting. I've been waiting for you guys to play for a while now.
We it's funny, we're playing with my dad used to be in a band called Bus Rider, like in the 90s. And they would tour around like in the same circuit as like No Doubt and like
Right on.
just that whole. My dad was actually Gwen Stefani's. I don't know what you would call it, fashion designer or whatever. He would go
Okay.
like to the garment district in LA and like
Yeah.
pick out like fabrics and stuff and like
Trippy,
make her
dude.
clothes and stuff.
That's a
Yeah,
trip.
yeah. There's a picture of us, like me, at one of her birthday parties. Like it's a slide bar now, but it used to be the hub. So they were there, and where the fuck was I going with that? Drank too much last night. Holy shit,
That was don't ask me, man.
dude. Fuck. Well, whatever.
Bus rider, you're talking about
Oh
bus
yeah,
rider, yeah.
So and that I hadn't played
And you hadn't
any
played
shows yet,
yeah.
but we're playing with my dad's band's old drummer.
Mm.
And this dude's been playing like 20 plus years. And I swear, if our song's like okay, just his playing like makes it so much better.
Hell yeah.
And then we were writing this song. I've actually got all the things just open on the desktop because we were recording just the room with one mic just to kind of
Yeah.
hear ourselves back. And we recorded 8 times, played it through 8 times, and every single time, what I liked about him was that like he didn't tell us like how to play or like change things around, but he would pick out like a bass line and he'd be like, what if, because this song keeps rising, we pick out that bass line because that bass line sounds really good, and instead like when we come back into it, you like put on the distortion and you play the guitar with the bass line, you play the same notes just in that part, and he just has all these ideas from
Little
20
things,
plus
yeah.
years of playing, and he makes it so much
Yeah.
better. So
Hell yeah.
we're super stoked to play some shows, and I
When's
think it's-
when's the next one coming up, you think? Or the first one, I should say.
Dude, probably, honestly, 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, because, like, so many moving parts in a band, dude. I don't know how you guys do it. You get,
3 months to prepare, dude.
yeah, 3 months to get, like, the set down and all that, but, yeah, you guys play, I would say, like, at least every week or every other week, which is, like,
It's
so
not
fucking hard
uncommon
to
for
do,
that.
man.
It's not uncommon for that to happen. We'll definitely go through little time periods where we're not playing as much, but that's mostly it's mostly due to like writing and you know, preparing for something else. So you know we have something else a couple months down the line. We gotta save and prepare for that. You know what I mean? We can't be blowing everybody out all the time. And
yeah.
actually, it's like perfect time to like talk about next month. We have this June Doom takeover we're kind of trying to do with this other band, Spare Parts for Broken Hearts, and it's going to be us two, and then obviously, you know, we'll fill in the other slots every night, but we're going to play like literally as much as possible in the month of June.
That's awesome,
with
man.
them, and you know, everywhere from, we already have like San Diego booked, Riverside, Redlands, Pomona, LA, obviously. This it's going to be nuts, and
It sounds like so much
so
fun, man.
it's almost kind of like a tour in a sense where we're like kind of going up and down, but if we're just trying to like just kill it, just take over the month of June, and just play as much as possible to new people and send out new material and test it out and all that good stuff.
Well, you guys can fucking do it. I mean, when I saw you guys, I mean, I've seen you guys now like 3 times or something like that.
Okay.
So I catch you guys like whenever I can, and it's weird. You guys have this. It's a fucking energy, and like, if you do, I consider even like a weekend. Like if you're gonna go a weekend and you do like 3 shows back to back, I consider that like a mini tour. You know, you're
most
doing like a little
definitely.
thing. But yeah, that sounds amazing because if you guys got like a whole month where you're gonna be doing that shit, like
It's kind of like a little test for that, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
almost like, let's just like put ourselves out there and you know, live that kind of, you know, back to back, you know,
Yeah.
thing, and then hopefully after that a real tour follows somewhere else that's like, you know,
yeah.
a bigger deal.
I have no experience with that, but I know my dad, because he was touring a lot, and he would say that like the best spots were always like middle of nowhere towns and like all ages, because the kids would just all come out. They'd all be fucking stoked just because somebody's coming through.
Yeah,
and kids,
that's true.
They always would have like a couple bucks on them, and they would just buy some merch because it's like fun. It's like we went out and we did this thing tonight, but
Very true.
I've heard that it's just so fucking hard to make it like in the LA circuit because there's so many bands. There's so many bands.
Man. Yeah, we've been doing this now for like 7 years, I think, something like that. And for every single one of those years, man, we struggled with trying to stand out in a crowd in LA that was almost always so similar. It was not fun. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh great, here's another band that's getting success and they're rising in their popularity, and I go to see them and I'm just like, dude, I just saw this last night. Like, and a different band played, you know what I mean? It's like the sound is too much, you know what I mean? So there's nothing like
everybody's trying to do
I mean, it's not deep enough for me, man. And with us, we've always been ourselves. We've always done what we wanted to do.
That's how you stand out, man.
Literally, I mean, our sound really hasn't changed. I don't like to say that because, you know, we haven't changed. We've just grown. We've like progressed and we've evolved into like what we are now. And that's where the songwriting is. That's what the songwriting is doing as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like your sound has been true to you guys, but your songwriting's gotten better and better over the years. So it's like you're just doing your thing, but at a higher level.
We got a lot better with the practice and just playing a gang. And
I saw you at the, I think it's the song, one of the songs off of your new record, Soaked.
Soaked, yeah. 3-song EP we just released.
Yeah, EP, and I went with my cousin. We went to the Sly Bar to see you guys there, and I had heard your stuff that you were playing before, and then you played like 1 or 2 new songs there.
Yeah, we did.
And you had this like stop at like the end of it, like one of these songs, and it was just heavy as fuck. And it was like, you could just tell like when somebody writes a song, like that's what's supposed to go there. Like that's. And we were both like, "Fuck, man, it like felt good." Like.
Right on, man.
Yeah, but.
Thank you. Yeah, makes me feel
good. the new stuff that you've been putting out, I mean, it's amazing, and the quality of the stuff too. Like people like that lo-fi sound a lot, but I like when bands get that heavy full sound too. So
yeah,
it sounds really good, man.
That's what we struggle with a lot on record. Is I think we're like a band that you got to see live to get the real full effect. So when we try and put that on record, it's hard if you're not playing live. You know what I mean? If you're not recording live, it's tough to kind of catch that. So we try our best, and you know, it needs to sound big on record, so you gotta feel it. And that becomes a struggle, man. It becomes really difficult, you know, to keep it short but sweet. Like when we recorded Soaked, the recording process was okay, but the mixing process was so dragged out and took so long that, like, you know, we ran into a couple roadblocks and it sucked. But it was mainly because, you know, we all knew what we wanted to come out of it, and we weren't hearing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fortunately, we were able to get, you know, help from somebody else, and we released it and we were happy with it, and now we're getting positive feedback. You know, it's
good, man. It's really good. It's like the fun thing about it is that, like, I mean, maybe you guys have an idea of what your genre would be, but that kind of stuff, when people start talking about like genres, it's fun a little bit, but it's the same to me. It's like how people like talk about pot, like this strain versus that strain. It's like, all right, they have their differences, but like the thing is, like, why do if it gets me fucking high? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's like that's what it is with music, where it's like I don't listen to another band that sounds like you guys, and there's a fucking reason for that. It's because you are satisfying that part of it. Right, I don't need to like search out like a bunch of other bands that sound like you guys, because there isn't, like, it's weird. It's like you guys have a weird combination of like people that come together in your band, and I think it's like is an amazing mix of things.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool, man. I'm glad you guys are doing your own thing, because like that's how you are gonna stand out. Like, you know how many bands I go to see that sound like, or that are opening for people that sound exactly like Dive, and it's like. Yeah. I like Dive, but I like Dive. Like, I don't need like 20 fucking Dives. Yeah. Like, that's the whole thing. But I'm glad you guys are doing your own sound. Like, that's what you got to do. And there was a point I wanted to bring up when my dad and his band was playing around the same circuit as like No Doubt. Like, dude, I mean, even if No Doubt's not your thing, like, it's just a success thing.
I dig No Doubt, man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Like, they were playing in the same area for, like, 11 years. Mm-hmm. And then they just all of a sudden. Yeah. And that's how it works, man. Like, if you're doing your thing, like, you're going to find your people. It's a matter of time. Mm-hmm. So,
we're already coming across some of those people, too, man. Like, so thankful for the people that we've met in the past couple of years that finally, like, we're willing to actually take a not even take a risk, just help us out. They wanted to, they wanted to be involved, and now we have those relationships locked in, and so much greatness is coming out of both ends, and just wanted to continue. And I mean, shout out to Play Like a Girl and Kimmy Record from there, because she saw us, and she put a lot into helping us out. She did a lot. So, we're very grateful for her and her help and her team and everybody there. And you awesome. Just feel, it's good to feel appreciated. It's good to feel, like you could trust somebody, because, there's a lot of sneaky, snaky people in this industry.
Way too many.
And, like
I'm not even in it really, and I know.
Yeah, you can't be fucking around. But, it is what it is, and, we're just going to ride it out. Have fun with it, Hopefully it progresses and builds into something bigger and better. And
that's how you got to do it.
Oh, yeah. On their caption headline, I'm like, "What? Get out of here!"
And it's always like they sound like they're Russian too. Like, so suck on my many tip.
Super broken. Yeah, they start broken like English with that shit spelling,
dude.
Oh man,
it's weird.
Shouts out to Sketchy Links, dude.
That would be
Sketchy
a great
Links, dude.
band name, dude. Sketchy Links.
Sketchy Links. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Oh man.
It's got like this backyard thrash feel, but with like another, something else. It's sketchy, It's like, fuck, you don't go to that show, Sketchy Links, dude.
Sketchy Links. Yeah, that's one where like kids are gonna ask like, "Can I please go to this show, please?" And they're like, "Who's the band?" Sketchy Links. They're gonna be like, "No, dude.
Nah.
No.
Sorry, son. Not till you're 12.
Oh man, so let's do this. Let's shout out what you guys got going on. Let's do that.
Okay.
And let's talk about that for a little bit and make sure we spread the word.
Definitely.
So there's Play Like a Girl.
Yeah, Play Like a Girl is having their 1 year anniversary on May 27th, taking over the Echoplex.
Nice.
And I believe it's going to be an all-day thing, so I think it starts early on in the day, you know what I mean? Like early evening.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much they're just going to have a bunch of sick bands that have played with their events over the year.
Yeah.
And of course we're playing too. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some people they're partnering up with at the show, and there's going to be like comedians and some like confessional booths, super, all this, pro. The whole thing about Play Like a Girl is it's supposed to be, it's pro, it's a place for female musicians or female identifying musicians to have a place to present what they do, or like their art, their music, whatever. And, it's a place to do that and feel safe and feel like, they can be themselves.
To be celebrated for just doing it.
Yeah,
because
and they're great people. They're great to, everybody that comes and, participates and is involved.
Isn't it so fucking weird that, like, even in music where it's such, like, a, like, universal thing, that, like, we still don't have, like, everybody just being chill with, like, girls playing instruments.
Dude, it's
How
ridiculous.
How fucking weird is that?
How long has music been around? I mean, it's rough, man. I mean, I can only imagine, from what the girls tell me and stuff like that. And I have a lot of respect for them and anybody who does that, any female or who tries to play music or does music. And it's just, because of that.
There's two sides. There's a billion fucking sides to it. But I heard something the other day where it was like, they were talking about like pop stars, which is like, I don't really get into that stuff like too much. That's all money thing,
That's factory made shit.
Yeah,
man.
but they were just making the point where it's like, dude, like, even if there's a female musician who's making songs that like are just so good, there's like amazing songs. Like, if she's not hot, she's not making money. What the fuck?
Yeah,
you can look like Keith Richards
twisted.
and play guitar, and everybody loves you.
Yeah.
You can be like hammered over in the street.
Richards.
Well, this dude's like vomiting in the
so-
street
yeah,
in his
he's-
20s, and
he's
people are
awful.
like, yeah, but you see a chick doing that, they're like, oh,
Yeah,
oh no.
It's twisted. It's pretty twisted.
I mean, I don't want anybody vomiting in the streets,
Yeah.
but the point is, like, you can't just be good at it, and it's music. Like, you can. There are people that have just been praised throughout the years, and I think it's changing, but, like, you can't be a good musician and not be pretty and, like, be a pop star. It doesn't happen.
It's that whole scene in the industry is just bad. It's all bad. I want to stay far away from all that. But I mean, so just a big thank you to them. That's like they
sounds
kind
like
of
an awesome thing.
Offered us, they a lot of opportunities come because of them, and
It's such an awesome name too, because like Play Like a Girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's
of course.
like,
it's perfect.
yeah,
It's so perfect.
You couldn't have called it anything else. It's awesome.
It's so perfect. And yeah, so that's happening on the 27th of May. Tickets are $13.50 advance, $18.50 at the door. So hit up our Instagram at We Are Iress.
I'll put links too.
And Play Like a Girl is Play Like a Girl LA. Both of those will have ticket links you can go to and buy the tickets advance. Is probably suggested, but it's just gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun, dude. Like,
did you play the last one?
The last Play Like a Girl?
Yeah.
No, we've played I think 2 so far in the past year. Maybe more. I mean, probably more. I'm so bad. But
they have a few every year.
So what they do is it's like a monthly showcase. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So they'll have it's a Play Like a Girl presents. And it's
Got
usually
it.
at the Echo.
Nice.
They recently started doing it at Harvard and Stone, which is another dope venue. Shout out there because they've always treated us well. And yeah, so I'm excited because the Echoplex. I've never played the Echoplex, and the Echoplex is cool. It's got.
Have you been down there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Cool.
I've seen some stuff go down there, but it's got a bigger stage, longer room.
It's cool,
man.
man.
To fill that up would be trippy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're excited. We're super.
I mean, I'm sure you guys will. We went to Dirty Penny Fest, which was Echo and Echoplex.
Oh, okay.
And it was just so much fun, man. They put on good events there. I mean, I know it has to do with like who's putting it on sometimes too, but the venue, I think, just.
Yeah, they haven't done us wrong.
Yeah, it's
well.
a cool thing, man. I actually bought tickets for Sunflower Bean and Yuck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I didn't realize
the girls showed me Yuck. Yuck is sick.
Yuck is yes. But I was super stoked, and then I fucking realized they were at the same like place the same day. So Yuck was at the Echoplex, Sunflower Bean was at the Echo.
Oh, man.
And so I gave the tickets to my dad and our drummer right now, Enrique. They've been friends forever. So they went to see Yuck, and we were upstairs at Sunflower Bean. And that was just tripping me out.
That's kind of.
I was like, I saw my dad drive by. I was like, this is weird. We shouldn't both like be out like doing this.
That's funny.
But he was saying like, man, they were fucking like playing loud upstairs. Yeah. And
it's smaller in there too.
The point is that venue, both of those venues, it's just tickets are cheap. It's a lot of fucking fun. Like you don't get hassled by security or anything there. I mean, I haven't, but I'm not an asshole when I go
you gotta
out.
be an asshole or some idiot, you know.
So that's gonna be really fun. The Play Like a Girl. Tess and I are gonna go to that and check it out.
Looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, but fuck, man, that's so cool. So, have you, since we're kind of on the subject, have you guys ever actually, or have you witnessed, like, some fucked up shit happening to your band because you have girls in the band?
I mean the one thing, I don't want to get too serious with it because I don't know, like, what
how they feel about it.
I don't know what they've experienced personally, you know,
right.
Like, there's, it could be things I don't know about earlier on, you know what I mean? But,
for sure.
I mean, there's always the constant, like, and I hate to, like, point fingers at who's doing it and stuff, but a lot of sound guys, they'll show almost no respect or kind of like care for when they're setting up for you and this and that, and then
weird.
Michelle's trying to like nicely ask about the vocals and what she wants and this and that, and they're kind of just like yeah, and then always after the set's done, and they see like what we can do and what the girls can do, they're just like all over it, like oh you guys are fucking sick, like oh,
but they're being a dick off.
But before you were like a dick, you know what I mean? So little things like that happen. I know that ticks them off. I mean, if you go way back, I know there's always the little stories I hear of people going up to them saying like, oh, you were in that band, right? You played like guitar, and it's like, it's like, or no, they'll go up to Alex and they'll be like, yeah, you play bass, right? And she's just like furious. It's like, I fucking play the guitar. Like, did you not see the guitar in my hand? You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys were sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we kind of did that to you guys too when we saw you at Sunflower Bean. But I never go up to people and like hassle them unless there's something I can like do for them. Mm-hmm. Just because like I can only imagine how many people come up to bands after, and we really were blown away by you guys. But like it wasn't. It's weird that some people like have this like we weren't thinking like fuck. She's a good singer for a girl. She's a good guitarist for a girl. Mm-hmm. We went up and we were like, can we buy you guys some beers? Like, that was fucking sick, dude.
You just appreciate what we were giving you, what we were sharing.
It's fucking weird. It's just music. Like, that's supposed to be one of those spots where it's like...
And that's one of the things I always remembered. I tell a lot of people that story, like when you guys were there and like how you came up and how you were so like... just super, just like respectful, and like you can tell you really like appreciated it, and like
we love music, man.
I was just like, I was sitting there, and dude, we sold like over like $200 in merch that night, and like that's so rare for us. I was like, I felt crazy. I'm like, what do you need? What size? I'm like running shit like crazy. Large, cool, right here. Yeah, this is your one. And then it was just so much fun. And then like you guys came in, it was like so personal and so like dope. That's why like I was like, okay, these are some cool people I need to like, you know, keep around. You know, you got to keep those people close to you.
It's hard because I've come up to people and they've been dicks about it too. Like, but it's pretty easy to spot when people. I think I can usually spot when people are good people, and you know, I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt anyway until they fuck it up, and I'm like, peace. But
very true.
But it's like, dude, there's so much bullshit going on. Like, if you can have 30 minutes of just like listening to organized sound and it like creates an emotional like pull in you, it's, dude, the least you can do is buy a band of beer. Like, it's crazy cool. That like, but yeah, I've walked into like weird situations where like people are like, you can't go talk to them. I'm like, they're just people, dude. Like, let's go. Like, if they're dicks, they're dicks. But like, you know, as long as I'm not hammered out of my mind and like making an awkward scene, like, let's go talk to them. But you know, that happens too.
It does, dude. Unfortunately, you get too excited.
I talked to Stas from the Paranoids, and I had a few beers in me, and she was actually really, really cool about it, and we really like their sound. But you can kind of tell they're one of those bands where, I mean, Stas, she started out as like an Instagram model, I think.
Okay.
And she's now like one of the young faces for Saint Laurent or however that.
Yeah, I think I came across like her background and stuff like that.
But they're all girls except for the drummer, and you can tell they probably get like everybody just coming up to them because they're fucking hot. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
they were cool. Those were some cool chicks.
And yeah, I was talking to her, and I was trying to at the time like print T-shirts for other bands because I wanted to do like art, and I was trying to find ways to make money, but like do something that I like. So I was telling them, I was like, look, first batch of shirts, like, let me just give you, you know, like, at cost for you guys, and then whatever money you make off of it, like, we'll just split it, so that they put in no effort and they get like all this money. But she was super sweet about it. She handed me her phone and like had me put in my email and all that stuff too. But I feel like people think that people get scared talking to people, and they especially with bands, people that I think are doing cool things. Like, I notice it sucks, but like people don't go up to them and tell them like, you guys are doing something cool. Like, I don't think it happens enough at all for like the bands that are actually making music that's true to them. You know, people kind of only attach to people when they've got fame or something, and it's like you don't understand.
There's like a scene to follow or something.
Yeah, there's a scene, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's tough, you know, like, cause I like to make it a point when I play a show to try and talk to as many people as I can. You know what I mean? That's just me personally.
Well, like, you seem like a social person
back and
too.
Forth. Yeah, back and forth. Like, I get off on conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
People are weird,
if I
man.
can meet,
it's fun to talk.
You know, I can go and play a show and I'll meet literally 30 people and I'll remember, and I won't remember their names and this and that, but I remember talking to each one of those, you know, people, and if they were cool, if they weren't cool, if they liked the music, if they bought something, you know, it's like all kinds of stuff like that. And just in general, you know, like, you got to have like a good energy and good vibe when you go to like those kind of places, or else it's gonna affect everything. You know what I mean? You can totally tell when like you go to a show and there's a bunch of stuck up like people who are like snobby and like into themselves, and they're here because it's cool to be here.
Right. It's like,
and they don't give a fuck about the music that's getting played on stage. And they're there, and it's like that's the show, like that's the sellout show. You know what I mean? Those
they're
are the
putting
people,
on the
those
show.
are the people in that crowd. Yeah, exactly. You know, show a little respect. You know what I mean? And if not, don't fucking be there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting a little serious.
No, but it's true, man. Like, I've fallen into that a few times too, where it's like I have to stop myself and go, whoa. Why am I being pretentious about music? I am not an authority on anything. Music is subjective. I like some shit that is not cool. I like shit, you know what I mean? And it's like...
I listen to such a wide variety of weird, different shit. if I gave you a compilation of like every other track, like something I'd listen to, you'd be like, what is this? You know what I mean?
I love that shit, man.
What is this? Like literally this morning, I woke up, took a shower, I was listening to fucking Danzig 2. You know, put on some Danzig 2, and I was listening to a couple tracks there. On the way here, I was listening to fucking classical music, some Bach, turned into some jazz blues. Like I can switch and go back and death metal to blues to soul to
That's
you know,
how it
folk,
should be, man.
and hip hop, underground hip hop, all that kind of crazy shit. There's something there. If I feel something there, then I'm gonna listen to it. You know what I mean?
That's how you gotta do it, man. That classical music, people like hate on it a lot of the time, but it's like, okay, a lot of classical music is kind of boring. A lot of it.
That's like what everyone always says.
But
yeah.
you get a lot of it where it's like, dude, these guys are genius songwriters. They're doing 30 instruments and one composer. And dude, like, I love music that changes a lot, is really intricate and like fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And so like, if you want that, like classical music does that. It changes all the time.
It does.
It creates like you can have a 30-minute like emotional roller coaster listening to.
And 15 minutes of that will be just like quiet, like soft strings, like weird, dark, and like for 15 minutes, and then it'll just break into this huge like climactic thing. And literally, like you just said it right now, a lot of people say that's the one thing is classical's boring. But for me, dude, I literally this drive was about like 45 minutes. For about 40 of them, I listened to nothing but classical music, and that for me, that's because it makes me feel something.
You have to have an
it
actual
put me at
deep
ease
appreciation
a little, Yeah,
for music.
exactly.
Like you can't just be like, yeah, I like Taylor Swift.
She's cool. I'm top 20. I'm cool with the top 20.
Yeah, but do you like music? Do you like oh man.
Yeah, like iTunes, right?
Oh my god.
To kind of end on that point, like the first two memories I have of somebody introducing music to me was my grandpa. He showed me Beethoven and Bob Dylan. And I'll forever thank him for that because it completely made me who I am today when it comes to music and like, what I appreciate and this huge wide
So
variety
music is thoughtful to you.
So thoughtful because I remember being fucking like 8 years old, whatever, 9 years old, maybe even younger, 7, and I'm laying in front of this huge speaker, listening to fucking Beethoven's Fifth like symphony and like all that shit, like his classic hits, like his best of whatever, and I'm just like on the floor like with my head next to it, just tripping out. Yeah. And I'm 7, 6, 8 years old. Like, what the fuck, who's doing that? And then the next thing he's like, hey, listen to this. This is Bob Dylan. This is one of the best songwriters out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mr. Tambourine Man was the first song I ever heard. And, dude, I'm like a Dylan fanatic, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, so now, like, all this stuff, it, like, transferred to, like, what I open, what I bring in, what I like, what I feel, what makes me feel. It's all because of that, dude. And it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. It's a trip, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Shout out to Grandpa Ray, man.
Your Grandpa Ray?
My Grandpa Ray, yeah.
I have a Grandpa Ray.
My Grandpa Ray, he's cool. He's still living. He's still kicking, So, cheers.
Nice. Cheers to Grandpa Ray's. I like the fact that, like, from a young age, I kind of understood that reality was something else was going on, or it's not exactly.
There's always questions, I've always there's always room for questioning and like.
Exactly.
Nothing is certain, man.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Are we back on camera?
We are back on camera. Yeah. All right. So.
I didn't think we were gonna have to do that.
All right. Professional.
Right on.
All right. So the reason why we're acting like this is because we had a bunch of weird conversations off camera that you don't ever get to see.
Mm.
That's life, buddy.
BTS, right? BTS life. That's behind the scenes.
Yeah,
That's behind the scenes. If you
it
don't
took
know.
me a second too, and I I was like BTS.
BTSD. What is he talking about?
I know. BTSD.
Right. Yeah.
Behind the scenes,
Disorder?
post-traumatic distress.
Yeah. PTSD. BDSD. Just great. Whoa.
All right. So.
Enough of that.
Serious time. Business.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't really have anything planned to talk about, but I did have something earlier where we were talking about something just about like being nice to fans and things like that, and that you are excited because you've been noticing that more people are coming up to you and more people are being receptive of your music lately.
Definitely.
And that's an amazing thing. But you and I had never. I think this is the first time you and I have hung out.
Oh yeah.
And you're like in my apartment, And
it's real.
You're just a normal dude, but the thing is, like, you know, we went up to you guys and we were really just impressed by everything you were doing. And we wanted to not bother you, so we said, "What's up?" You guys blew our minds. Can we buy you a beer? And from that, you kept hitting me up and replying through like DMs, and we were always trying to like get something together. And I think that's something that people don't understand on two levels, like just as being a human, like that's necessary to keep like good vibes all around you. But I meet a lot of musicians that are so pretentious about their shit, where it's like they make good music, but they're making the music because they want admiration or they want somebody to validate them. But it seems like you guys are just good people making good music. And I wanted to ask you, like, what's really the motivation, like, between or in making music for you? Like, why? We were talking a little bit about grandpas and people getting us into music, but, like, why do you keep doing it? Because that's something that I don't think people get asked a lot.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, obviously a tough question. Not tough because I can't find the answer, just tough as to explain it.
Right.
Motivation for me, man, it comes from a lot of past experience, a lot of past influence. Like we were talking about, you know, the first introduction to music and what I remember and what it, you know, kind of panned out for me, what I was going to, you know, discover. And just keep, you know, just once I found out about that, once I felt that passion, I realized, you know, I want to do this. I want to feel this forever, you know what I mean? I want to be able to do this, and I want to give it to people.
Yeah.
So what motivates me and, like, how I get motivated, it's all purely, like, giving something to somebody, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have all this in me, and, like, that's something I was thinking about recently, too, is my playing style. You know, it's not as crazy all over the scale, intricate as some people I see. I get super intimidated. I'm like, this guy's great. This guy's killing it. He's all over the place, you know what I mean? For me, it's more like I play, like, less, but I feel so much in that what I'm playing, you know what I mean? That, like, it can come across so much bigger than it is. I'm maybe playing one note and I'm sliding in and out of it. And that slide in and out, there's so much to that, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just deep, you know? So,
well, I've always felt that, like, you know, music is cool, but the bass always sets the vibe of the song. Always, to me. Like, if you change the bass around in one of your favorite songs, it would not be the same song, at all. The emotion would be different.
The structure, the rhythmic structure.
Somebody said important. It was the backbone of a song.
Yeah, that's a classic, you know, way of saying it. The backbone, you know, the rhythm section, the drums and bass. It is very. I mean, the lead guitar and vocals, those are lead for a reason. They're on top for a reason.
They're accents, though. I think sometimes
very important in what you're doing, but at that point you're doing it all together.
Yes.
So it's not what's more important or what sounds better. It's like, here's, you know, this is what's underneath and, like, holding everything, and then this is what's on top of it that's, like, putting out and, like, you know, kind of, like, you know, being able to go here, being able to go there while the back continues to hold.
Keeps
and
the
do
pace.
It. Yeah. Very just cool like that. And that's one thing that Iress does very well is Alex and Michelle are so great at writing together on guitar and coming up with, you know, lyrics and, you know, song melodies and all that kind of stuff that, like, when they do that, Glenn and I, it's just like, we just plug right in. It's and awesome. There we go, we're in it, and then we all feel it, we all have the chemistry now, and, you know, we've had the chemistry.
So the music is, I mean, it's something that's in you, obviously. Music comes from a really weird place that nobody can pinpoint, but you feel that there's something, you get satisfaction in putting it out.
Yeah, I get satisfaction for people listening to what we're doing. Like, when people are actually there in the crowd and they're paying attention. And that's what I think happens at a lot of our shows. It's, you look up, and funny thing is, we all don't look up a lot. We like to kind of, you know, we're kind of head, you know, we keep our head down. We're very just jamming, man. We're grooving.
Yeah.
But, you know, those very few times I'll look up and I'll see all these people and I see all these faces. Almost all of them, it's like they're so invested and they're so focused and they're looking at you, and I'm just like, jeez, you know.
You guys
what I mean?
are doing a really.
So
cool
it's a
thing
good feeling because they're interested. They like what they're hearing and they're listening. You know what I mean?
You've got a sound where people actually have to listen to it, and they. It's amazing when they decide to listen to it.
Most definitely, man.
Because you could be at a bar playing like a show at a venue and like, you know, nobody's paying attention. That happens a lot to people. But I've been to 3-4 of your shows, and every time we're out there, like you guys go on, people move up, people start paying attention, and like there's this drone thing that goes on in your music where people like I can see them go like. And they're just
they get hypnotized, man. That's what I like to say. It's very hypnotic.
Yeah.
Very hypnotizing.
So what's the first? What? I mean, your grandpa showed you some really fucking amazing music, but what was the first instrument you picked up, and how did that come about?
Oh, if we're going way back. The recorder, 3rd grade. You played Mary Had a Little. No, that's true
like,
though.
no
That's
shit.
true.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I had to learn the recorder in elementary school.
Yeah.
But when I was 13 years old, my dad and his brother, my Uncle Kilo,
Kilo.
Uncle
That's
Kilo,
an amazing name.
Angel. His name's Angel.
Okay. He just has kilos on him at all times.
This is what I've ever always called him. Everybody calls him that. You know, he and my dad bought me a Fender Strat pack, like starter pack. It came with like the blue little Fender Strat, a little amp, gig bag, and like strap, and some picks, and like a DVD instructional video. Yeah. Set it up in the garage for me. Like I went out there all surprised. It was like hell yeah, because I loved music. You know,
dude, making
noise
is fun.
Since I was young, you know, I loved that. So they knew it, and they got me that. And I tried to learn, man, and it was just so hard, and like I didn't get anywhere. I didn't progress. I just kind of always liked it, but it just sat there. And then eventually, I just put it away, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then like 7 years later, 6-7 years later, or so, a good friend of mine who had played bass in his younger days was like, hey man, I'm starting a band and I want to play guitar. Like I'm going to learn how to play guitar, and I have a drummer and a singer, so like we need a bass player. Like, do you want to play bass? You can just use mine. Yeah. And I was like, for sure. And he's like, you have a guitar, right? And I was like, yeah. So we literally switched like instruments, and we both had the same exact blue and white Fender like starter versions of each instrument.
That's funny.
And we're just like boom, and that was it, bro. That was it. I started playing bass because my buddy asked me to play bass. Yeah. And I was like, well, cool. This is a way for me to play, and let's see what it's about. I still kind of like fucked around on guitar, like here and there. I'd pick up an acoustic and play like Wonderwall and stuff.
Anyway, here's
but no, man, I picked it up. I even remember like little details, like trying to play with the pick. Yeah. And I was like, do I play with the pick? I heard this is easier. And I was like, this feels weird. I don't like it. And I started playing with my fingers. Yeah. And I was like, this is way better.
That tone.
And that was that. So I did that, and for about a year straight, dude, we practiced so much, and we learned so many songs, like just cover after cover, just early Beatles songs, early Stone
that shit's
songs,
so fun,
bunch of blues, early like Smokey Robinson, like all that stuff, early stuff we can play easily. That's like one note, but we were learning, we were doing it, and we were becoming a band, and we eventually became a band that like wrote our own music, and that was my like start into playing shows. I started doing that.
What was the name of the band?
Oh man, I love that band. That band was called originally The Mad.
The Mad. That's
MADD. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So
oh shit.
So we changed it.
Fuck, I forgot about that shit.
The Smokestacks.
The Smokestacks.
Shout out to Howlin' Wolf, Smokestack
Lightning,
yeah, man. Blues. So we were big into that. We were big into that. We were big into that blues revival rock kind of thing.
You liked the guy that the Rolling Stones wanted to be.
Oh, dude. Howlin' Wolf is a G. That guy is a G. Respected.
That guy was a literal, and I'm talking
huge.
Literal.
The guy was huge too. He
was
a beast.
But I'm talking like he was an actual pimp. Like,
yeah.
like when pimps were like a real thing, and it wasn't just escorts all across the world. Like he would have been a pimp.
Oh
you know what
man,
I'm talking about?
It's a trip. So that was the Smokestacks, dude, and we started playing shows. And we had a singer originally, but he lived in San Diego, and he was coming up and down. It was too hard on him. He wasn't practicing enough, so I eventually took over on vocals. I was playing bass and vocals. So my first year into playing bass,
that's kind of
first
like one
time
of these
on stage, and now I'm singing. It was a trip, but we were having fun. At this time, we had another drummer. It was another old friend of mine, and we were just having fun. And then that's about the time Alex and Michelle were in Iress, and we played a show together at the Airliner.
Where's that at?
The Airliner, I don't know, L.A., I think. Okay. I'm just going to say.
So how old are you at this point?
this is like about a year. We're 21 because we're playing at a bar.
Oh, okay.
We're playing at bars now, so we've been I've been
Big
playing
shots.
now for like a year and a half or so, and now we're 21. We're starting to play shows at bars and venues and shit, and we happened to just play this show where Iress was playing upstairs and the Smokestacks were playing downstairs, and we had mutual friends who introduced us that night, like the bands, and I was like, oh, you know, these people here. So we're all hanging out, and they saw our set. Alex and Michelle, they saw me playing, and after that is when they hit me up. They were like, hey, like they didn't have a bass player. It was Iress started with just them two on guitar and singing, and then drummer.
Some White Stripes action.
Where
it's just guitar and drums and vocals.
Yeah, but they were still doing their thing at that point.
Yeah,
like, there's videos from that show actually on YouTube. You know, if you want to go try and dig
that
them
exact
up.
show.
That exact show from their set. You can see it. Those are the tapes I watched to learn how to play the songs. That was my was my homework I did for my audition. Dude, I was up for till 5 a.m. watching everything I could that was available on YouTube.
So you got to write the bass parts for those songs?
In a sense, I was more just following. Yeah, I was just following along. You know what I mean?
Showing you could do it.
Because there was no bass player, so there was never a bass line written. But I was just like, okay, let me listen to everything. Let me play what they're playing, and I'm not even gonna try and get fancy with it.
Right.
I'm still fresh, you know.
Right.
And so yeah, dude, they asked me to come kind of practice audition kind of thing, and I learned, like I said, I learned as much as I could.
Yeah.
And I went there and I was like, what do you guys want to play? Let's try it.
Yeah.
I tried a couple songs and it was it. The rest is history, as they say, bro.
Cool. So was Glenn always the drummer for them?
No, dude. Glenn just his 1 year anniversary just passed in December. So
Glenn's
Glenn's only been in the band for about a year and a half almost now, and he's the latest addition, and I think he hopefully will be the final addition because we've had
he's
4
a solid
drummers.
drummer, man.
We've had 4 drummers before him, man, and it's tough, you know. You get comfortable and you develop chemistry with these people, especially with the rhythm section. I had to play with these guys and work with them, and getting into that relationship so far into the line and then having to just drop out and they're gone and whatever. It was tough. It was very tough, and there was
you're in a relationship.
It's a struggling relationship.
Yeah.
With the drummers, man. But finally we found him, and he's like that light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Dude, he seems very practiced and very disciplined in the way he drums.
Oh yeah.
And
very serious.
Yeah, but that's good, man. These guys, they I mean, the stereotype of the drummer is they don't show up, and that they're the laziest person in the band. Usually that's a stereotype. But Glenn, man, he's
complete opposite, bro. That fool's the first person there to everything when it comes to the band. He's always early.
The first time I met him, he had me a business
so
card.
dedicated, man. Yeah, he's so dedicated and so professional. But he loves what he does too. That's the thing. It's
you can tell.
It's not
he
I'm a robot.
teaches
It's
little
just
kids drums too, or he.
Yeah, he's been giving lessons.
Lessons.
Yeah, he's been doing lessons.
That's when I was like, all right, this is that guy's thing. He likes it, man.
He just loves drums, dude.
Dude, I didn't know how much there was going on about drums until I played with a good drummer, and I was like, what the fuck?
Drums are crazy. You can do a lot. Too much.
Yeah. So you met at the bar with them, and they hit you up, and it's been history ever since.
That was that, yeah.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of time left, so if we have any more plugs, we should do them. Yeah.
Just follow us online, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, all that stuff. Search Iress, IRESS.
And talk to them. They're nice people.
Please.
We'll
talk to you.
Yeah, they will, and as long as you're not a dick or just trying to get something out of them, hit them up. They're really nice people. No, seriously.
Give us your money, man.
Give us your money. But buy their merch.
We got some new merch, so if
you're
at the show on the 27th, we have brand new T-shirts.
Dude,
pins.
that font is sick.
Shout out to Lauren Griffin.
I met her randomly at a Sunflower Bean show too. She was just around. I was like, I know you from somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, she was around.
Yeah, she's great.
Iress is getting all their shit together, man.
Stay tuned, man.
Come along for the ride,
the June Doom tour is gonna be nuts. Just be prepared for a lot.
Be prepared to spend money. Go to their shows. No, but seriously, we'll be going to a few of those and continuing to follow Iress because.
Please.
Their music's sick, dude.
Please do.
Spotify, you're on Spotify.
Spotify, iTunes.
I'll put everybody.
You can find our new EP on Spotify. Search Soaked. Iress again, IRESS. We are Iress on all the other platforms, and yeah.
I'll put all those links. Everybody in the band, I'll put their links down here. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good shit.
Have a good one. Ooh, that's a strong handshake. Can you see the strength in that one? I don't know. But yeah, thanks for coming.
That's my Nardwar kind of thing, you know?
Ah! Nardwar.
Oh, yeah, shouts out
Dude,
Nardwar,
dude.
dude.
Dude, that freaked me out at first. Honestly, I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
I saw an opportunity, man. I went with it.
That was funny as fuck, though. It was good.
Oh, yeah.